This is BJJ Radio. You're live with Real DWC.
And I'm Jerr.
So let's get right into this. Please give us your name, the city you live in, the school you train at, and if there's an affiliate, what is it?
Okay. Bret Perchaluk. I train at Combat Sports Center here in Virginia. It's like right south of D.C. And we're affiliated with Team Roberto Travin. And I also train with Ryan Hall up at 50/50 Jiu-Jitsu in Arlington, Virginia, too. So those are the two places I've been training at. And that's where I'm at now. So.
What other martial arts have you trained in? I know Jiu-Jitsu isn't the only one that you've trained in the past.
Yeah, I started martial arts when I was real young. My mom put me in Kung Fu when I was like 5, 6 years old. Got into Jeet Kune Do when I was in high school, which was kind of my first experience with Jiu-Jitsu, doing the ground fighting because it was a Machado affiliate. And then I wrestled, so I was wrestling at the same time I was doing Jeet Kune Do, and then I got into Jiu-Jitsu and then Judo and kept with the wrestling and mixed it all together.
Wow, I wish I could do all that. Looking back, doing all these martial arts, do you think it's had a positive impact on your jiu-jitsu game, having all these, just combined?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really helps to be diverse. One of the big things that has helped me in relation to jiu-jitsu specifically is just being an athlete and always doing some kind of grappling. Whether it was wrestling, I wrestled Division I in college, so that helps me a lot now. I trained judo at a high level, like a national level, and was a state champ in New Jersey where I grew up. And that all translates over to the jiu-jitsu. I feel very comfortable in a gi or not in a gi. I feel comfortable on my feet. I feel comfortable on my back. I feel comfortable on top. So it's kind of helped me to where I never really panic and I never really feel like there's that much pressure. I kind of always feel like I've got something in every range, which really helps.
Have you competed in all those martial arts?
Yeah, I have. I was a Division I wrestler, so competed all through college, on a nationally ranked wrestling team. Rider University in New Jersey, a big shout out to them. I competed high level in judo, again, was a state champ back in Jersey. And then I went to the training center, the Olympic Training Center in Boston to train with Jimmy Pedro and those guys up there. Jimmy actually helped me to get my black belt in judo. And then, I competed at high level in jiu-jitsu, MMA as well, and I like competing. I like sports, so I just try to keep it going.
After everything you just named and accomplished, are you still excited when you think of obtaining your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, that's actually, when I was younger, I was getting out of high school. I had wrestled, I did the Jeet Kune Do, and I actually switched and found like a true MMA and Jiu-Jitsu gym. And I hadn't even messed around with Judo yet, but I always looked at Judo as kind of like this alluring, like mystical martial art. Like I knew it kind of looked like Jiu-Jitsu, but I really wasn't sure what they were doing other than slamming each other pretty hard, and I thought that was cool. But I told myself that if there's ever any life goals that I accomplish, and maybe it's only one life goal that I accomplish, it was I was going to get my black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu, and I wasn't going to stop either until I did both. So we're well on our way to that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you were close. When you hit brown belt, I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that. What would be some goals once you obtain black belt that you can't rest until you have done this at this belt? Is there any goals? And it doesn't really have to be so much winning the world. It could be something simple as doing a seminar. But what is a couple that you cannot rest until you do it?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. when I competed at Worlds as a purple belt this past year before getting my brown belt, and one of my friends that I stayed with, he's a Checkmat guy, so we got to spend a lot of time with them, and I had trained in Vegas for a while too and got to roll with a lot of the Checkmat guys. And one thing that I heard Buchecha say was that once you get your black belt, you basically start over again. And I think that's kind of like something I'm going to live by, which is basically reaccomplish as much as I can at the black belt level to mirror like what I've done from white belt, and just keep striving to just do everything over again, or maybe even better. Like you said, it might not be winning a world championship, or it might not be anything other than just a seminar or be a better teacher or whatever, but just do everything that I've done and enjoyed to this point, but do it better and do it at the black belt level.
I agree with you. So, me and the host here, we are blue belt, and there's a reason it's called blue belt, because it makes you sad as hell sometimes. Can you tell us, because we personally want to know from someone at your level, was it a hard belt for you to wear?
Yeah, that was the hardest belt I had and my least favorite. I wasn't a white belt for long. I think I was training like 6 months, and I'd gotten my blue belt. And it was just getting smashed every day. There were no guys my size. You know, I was a little guy, like around, like 140, and everybody in the gym was bigger than me. And I would just get smashed all the time, and I could catch people in submissions, but it was always a war of attrition. Like, my cardio was good, so if I could wear them out and they couldn't submit me early on with their strength, then I'd catch them. But I was getting beat pretty good by the bigger guys. But looking back on it now, I'm actually pretty thankful for that, because it forced me, as a good wrestler, it actually forced me to have to play off my back. So I developed a actually pretty good half guard and guard game. And it also made me not afraid to open up. Like, I realized pretty early on that I wasn't going to submit any bigger guys by just pulling guard, closing it, and holding them. So it made me take the risks that, you might get submitted, but if you open up, good things can happen too. So it was actually good for me, but it was tough, and it was a hell of a long road.
What has been the best advice that you've heard or somebody has told you? Yeah. I think that the best advice I was ever given was probably by my college wrestling coach, and it relates to any, whether it's judo, jiu-jitsu, and just life in general. And he basically said, to paraphrase, was just whatever lessons you learn on this mat, it's not to make you a better athlete. I'm teaching you to be a man. And there's a lot of adversity on the mat, in practice, just like we were talking about just now, just getting smashed. You're frustrated, like you said, with the blue belt, how you get sad, you're blue. There's just all kinds of variables that affect you more emotionally than people think. They think it's a sport and it's physical. But in reality, it's grooming you and it's prepping you to deal with real-world, real-life situations. And if you can handle them on the mat correctly, or you learn from them, you'll be a lot better off in life off the mat. And I truly believe that.
That is great advice, actually. What would be actually your defining moment for the sport side of jiu-jitsu, where you said, hey, you know what? I can actually make a name for myself?
It was probably, when I guess it's probably more than one defining moment, but I guess they're kind of all related in a sense. It just kind of like being able to be proud of myself no matter what happens. So whether it was like go, like place at Pans or compete at like Abu Dhabi Pro, or go to a tournament and just get completely smashed, no matter what. Just always being able to be proud of myself for continuing this. I mean, it's been a long journey. I started
initially jiu-jitsu was like around like 2002, and it's been off and on because I had to take a little bit of a break for college for wrestling. But I mean, it's going on 10 years, and I've never given up. I've never given up on my goals, and I've never given up on myself. And there was a time where I did really step away from competition, and reluctantly kind of got like roped back into it, and then reignited that love and that fire to want to compete and to do big things in the sport. So I'm glad that it happened. And I think that always being able to be proud of myself for whatever I do is going to be my biggest and most defining moment in jiu-jitsu.
Wow. I was wondering, sorry, here comes the question. I apologize.
What is your favorite belt so far? Well, what has been your favorite belt?
Favorite belt, purple belt. I think that was the belt that I was at the longest. I also got my purple belt was given to me. I was living in Georgia, so I was training at like Roberto Travin's with him, and he's the one who gave me my purple belt. And I'd been, working my ass off there. Like I was basically in a room full of like Brazilian superstar black belts, and I was getting killed every day. But then my jiu-jitsu picked up really quick, and he gave me my purple, and that's where I learned the most. Because of work, I had to move around a lot after, so I got to train at a lot of cool places. Drysdale's being one of them because I lived in Vegas, and here in Virginia, and I was at that belt for such a long time, but I learned the most. I think that's when purple belts where you truly develop like your own personal style. Like blue belt, you're learning and you're starting to get good, but it's like still mimicking your coach or training partners. You hit purple belt, and that's when it really becomes your own, and you start to own your jiu-jitsu, and it becomes your style, and nobody can emulate it because it's yours, and there's things in your game that you don't expose to other people in training or you don't do in competition, and it's kind of just your thing that you own at that point. So I think that was really my favorite belt.
Nice. And who are your favorite people to watch in the sport?
A huge like mentor figure to me, someone who gives me like a lot of good advice. Braulio Estema, he's a huge one for me. I love and kind of model my tactics after Kron Gracie. I kind of don't play the point system, and I just go out there to have fun and try to pull off submissions. So I really respect that because he'll go out there win or lose, and it doesn't matter as long as he tries hard and he fights hard. I like that. I really like Dustin Diaz, who's like another good friend of mine who I've trained with in Florida. I really like his kind of like American style jiu-jitsu where it's real like wrestling based, and he's big on like, making it count when you're on your feet and like punishing people all the way to the mat so that they just want to give up. So I like that style. It kind of relates to my wrestling background real well. I mean, the list goes on and on. I have so much respect for a lot of guys, and I've trained with so many high-level guys over the years and have a lot of like high-level friends. Ryan Hall would be another one. Him and Seth Smith, his partner. I mean, I roll with those guys, and they just smash me, and I have so much respect for their game. So,
out of everyone you named, I thought Dustin Cleans was a good name you named. I would love to have him on the show, actually, because I think he accomplished so much and didn't get if he did this in another time era, he would probably be very, very famous all across North America, not just in the Florida area.
Yeah, to be honest, man, I've trained with him. We talk on the phone on a regular basis. He's a big like mentor figure to me. And he's just the man. I mean, that's all you could say is he's the man. I mean, he submitted Marcelo. He's just a beast. I mean, he's just such a beast, and he's so good and so knowledgeable, and yet so down to earth and just like a regular guy, and like he truly cares about like anybody he helps. Like, bring me down to Florida, or whether he's up in the north, like to teach seminars or whatever. Like, I'm always, one of the first people he'll call. Hey, are you going to be around? Can you come? all about making my jiu-jitsu better and passing on his knowledge to like me and other guys like me, and it's just really refreshing because it's not like money motivated or anything like that. He's just a really awesome dude.
Nice. Any last words before we have to unfortunately let you go, my friend?
Yeah, just, you guys, your show's awesome. I enjoyed listening earlier, and just like to thank my sponsors, Tatami Fightwear, awesome company, and they always hook me up and help me for like major tournaments and stuff. So just like to thank them, and then thank my girlfriend and my mom because they're always super supportive and they put up with all my bullshit with jiu-jitsu and traveling and training and competing.
I hear it's important to have strong females that try not to hold you back from doing this sport because it is time consuming. It's pretty much my other girlfriend.
Of course.
All right, thanks for coming on. Hopefully we'll get you back on here once you obtain that magical black belt.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, the ninja belt for sure.
It's elusive. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.